7 moons once lit the sky. Now only one remains. And she holds the answers to a curse, a bond, and a destiny no one can escape. His heart scale was stolen. The thought pounded through Lacan's mind with every beat of his wings. Someone had breached his wards, walked through centuries-old magic as if it were smoke, taken the one thing that should have been untouchable. Mate. The word coiled in his chest, unwelcome and undeniable. Destiny. Fate. Curse. His father's face flashed behind his eyes. Laho, golden and terrible, consumed by love and grief until there was nothing left but fire and ash. The fall, history repeating. No. Lacan climbed higher, desperate for answers he knew only one goddess could give. The path to the moon stretched before him like a scar through the heavens. And he hated it. Not the moon itself, never the moon, but the space between, the silence, a void where light should have been. 7 moons, once. 7 sisters weaving harmony through the night sky. Now, 1. The absence pressed against him like a physical weight, cold and hollow. Each wing beat through that emptiness was a reminder.
You are the son of the dragon who burned them away. You carry his blood, his fire, his madness.
The curse settled heavier on his shoulders, and for a moment, Lacan wondered if he should just let himself fall. Would it break the mate bond? Would it save her, his wildfire, from the fate of loving a monster? Then he broke through. Light bloomed around him like sunrise. Warmth wrapped his scales as he crossed the moon's threshold. Magic greeted him like familiar hands, steadying, grounding. His chest loosened for the first time since the ward breach. It felt like home. The landscape below wasn't barren rock and dust like the mortal tale suggested. It was paradise, a dream made manifest. The moon reflected Mayari's soul, what she loved, what she fought for, what she hoped the world could become. Lacan caught a thermal and glided, letting the familiar scents wash over him. He had played in these forests as a youngling, before everything broke, before shame became his constant companion.
Welcome back, little prince.
The mental voice was warm and affectionate. Lacan banked left, spotting Elder Saya tending moonflower vines near the forest edge.
Elder.
Lacan replied, dipping his wing in acknowledgement.
Troubled flight? You could say that. The goddess will help. She always does.
He hoped so. More greetings brushed his mind as he flew deeper. Fireflies flickering in precise formations, fairies laughing between branches, and humans who had chosen to follow Mayari even into death. The moon's people did not fear him. They didn't whisper, spawn of Laho, or moon eater, when he passed. Here he was just Lacan, guardian, the boy who had once raised fireflies and stole moonberries with the younger spirits.
Where's the goddess?
Lacan asked a sentinel firefly hovering near a waterfall.
Hunting! Western Ridge!
Lacan adjusted his course. Beyond the mountains, suspended in the sky like a broken promise, lay the ruins of the celestial sanctuary. Once, it had been magnificent, a place of reformation, of second chances, where immortals who'd upset the balance could serve penance or find redemption. The fall had shattered it. Mayari had rebuilt what she could, but without her sister's magic reinforcing the wards, it was fragile, incomplete. Movement caught his eye. A flash of silver and white running along the ridge, bow drawn. Mayari in her hunting form, pursuing something that shrieked and darted between stones. Lakan didn't hesitate. He folded his wings and dove. The creature was a Nuno Sapunso, an ancestral spirit wrapped in smoke and indignation. Lakan opened his jaws, snatched the spirit mid-flight, and landed at Mayari's feet. He dropped the Nuno like an offering. The struggling spirit, small, bearded, and furious, beat its fists against his snout.
Unhand me, oversized snake. I was justified.
He shifted into human form in a ripple of light and scales, a few shedding at her feet like scattered coins. The Nuno scrambled upright.
I have done nothing wrong. That family dishonored my shrine. I have every right to...
Calm yourself, Nuno.
I will not calm down. Justice demands...
I could dunk him in the river, cool him down. You wouldn't dare. I absolutely would.
Nuno, this is the 6th time. You cannot terrorize your descendants every time they forget an offering.
They forgot rice.
So you flooded their rice fields.
They deserved it.
Back to the sanctuary. Reflect. Again.
No, not there. The food is bland, and my neighbors complain constantly, especially that Duwinde who...
Magic flared. The Nuno vanished mid-sentence. Lakan exhaled slowly. This was familiar. The work he'd been doing for years. Keeping balance, containing chaos, protecting the world from immortals who'd forgotten their place. He pressed a fist to his heart and bowed his head.
Goddess Mayari.
She touched his brow in blessing, warmth spreading through him.
None of that formality here. You know better.
She knelt to examine the shed scales, magic pulsing beneath her fingers.
Let's see what you've brought me. A tick balong with a fondness for confusing maidens. 2 sirens who terrorized fisher folk. And 5 of Ollie's fireflies?
They were stalking me.
Ollie won't be pleased.
Allie's never pleased.
He'll come scold you.
Let him try.
Mayari released the fireflies with a flick of her hand. They zipped away immediately, no doubt racing back to report.
Walk with me. You look like you've eaten something foul. Killed anyone recently?
Not yet.
As they walked, moonlight caught Mayari's face. One eye reflected silver like the pools around them, bright, knowing. The other was clouded, milky as a pearl, a pale scar cutting through the brow above it. A reminder of ancient battles, of the price paid for standing against gods. She had never hidden it, never needed to. The wound had become part of her strength, one eye to see the world, the other forever reflecting the moon she had made her sanctuary.
The Nuno was the 3rd escape this moon cycle. It's getting worse. The wards weaken without my sisters. The other gods complain. They don't like the sanctuary so close to the heavens. There are disruptions when immortals escape.
Where else could it go?
I don't know, but we need sacred ground, strong enough to hold them.
She stared into the falls as if seeking answers in the spray.
We'll find a way.
She turned to face him.
I know you don't enjoy flying here. The path reminds you of the fall. But until we find a new sanctuary, I need you to keep bringing me the rogue ones here.
I know.
There's something else. I've been sensing unusual activity among the stars. Dead stars, specifically. They feel wrong, unnatural, like something's waking them.
Unease prickled down Lakan's spine.
What does that mean?
I don't know yet, but it troubles me. Also, there are new immortals from the Western lands. They drink blood. They can turn humans into their kind. One family has arrived.
Should I?
Not yet. They haven't upset the balance yet. But watch them. More will come.
Lacan's gaze drifted, his mind already spinning back to the stolen scale, to the impossible implications. Mayari studied him.
You're distracted.
Lacan dragged a hand through his hair.
What happened? You're pacing holes into my moon.
Wildfire.
Wildfire?
A female. A huntress. She stole my heart scale. She walked through my wards like they were nothing. Please tell me it means nothing.
You know what it means.
No.
Only a mate can claim a dragon's heart scale. If she left with it, then it wasn't taken by force. The scale had called to her.
I don't want a mate. I can't. Tell me how to stop it.
You can't.
Then how do I keep it from growing stronger?
My father had a mate, and look what it did to him. My mother, too, was broken when he left her for his mate. I can't. I won't.
Lacan, breathe. This wildfire of yours. Describe her.
She's fierce, taller than most females. Moves like she's made of fire and fury. The best warrior I've ever seen. She's a daughter of the moon, the first one, their leader.
Mayari's breath caught.
She found you. Tell me more about her.
Lacan closed his eyes, and the image came easily. Too easily.
She's strong, determined, beautiful in the way storms are beautiful. She fights like the world depends on her winning. And her eyes, they're haunted, like she's carrying weight no one should have to bear alone.
When he opened his eyes, Mayari's hand was pressed to her chest, and her expression had softened into something that looked like wonder and grief combined.
So it's time.
What do you mean?
You should give this a chance. You've asked me for centuries how to break the curse, and I kept telling you the same. Sacrifice and love.
Love?
Lacan took a step back, even more panicked.
Who said anything about love? Blood sacrifice?
Love is a sacrifice, the greatest one. You know what happened to your father. He loved her enough to burn the world. That's the power you fear. But Lacan, what if love could also save? What if it could redeem? If love can make monsters of the purest beings, it may also be powerful enough to undo the gravest curse.
You're saying she's the answer.
I'm saying the fates rarely make mistakes.
The fates put me together with a human who wants to kill me, and it sounds like a mistake to me, that's all.
You are not your father, Lacan. He made a choice in grief and madness. You forge your own path.
How do you know? How do you know I won't?
Because you're here. Because you've spent centuries trying to redeem what you think is irredeemable. Because you care so much about not becoming your father that you've denied yourself everything. Crown, happiness, and now mate.
Lacan's throat closed. He wanted to argue, wanted to rage against fate and bonds and the cruelty of hope. But he was so tired.
Why her?
Mayari met his eyes, and in that moment, she looked ancient and ageless all at once.
This female, your wildfire, she's my daughter.
The words struck like lightning. Lacan forgot to breathe.
Walk with me. There are secrets you should know.